Hi, I'm back. Well, here we go. I've got a lot of progress done and a lot of tips and tricks to show you. So let's go ahead and get started. This is the template for the upper piece, upper chest piece. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to hold this on the screen just for a few minutes, just so you can, or a few seconds, just so you can get a good idea of what the size is like. Now the thing is, you need to. All this is probably be pretty good for most people. Obviously, if you're exceptionally large or exceptionally small, you're going to have to make adjustments on that for yourself. Let's get that out of the way, and I'll put the second piece up here. And the overall width on this thing, as you can see, is 21 inches at the bottom, 20 inches at the top there, 2 inches right here, 2 inches right here as well, and that's your curve. Now the thing is, what you want to do is when you take your measurements for this, go from the area directly in your under your armpit, where your rib cage is, go around to there, to the opposite side, and take that. So that's my size, 21 inches. It's okay if this piece comes out a little bit short, because what's going to happen is you're going to end up using some of these little nylon, or excuse me, some of these little plastic backpack style clips to attach the front piece of the armor to the rear piece of the armor. So it's okay if you actually have a little of extra space back there. It'll give you some wiggle room to work with. If anything, again, it's probably a better idea to have a slightly too large piece than a too small piece, because again, you can always cut off some extra. So that's the center chest piece. Let's get that out of the way, and we'll have the ab piece. Oh, let's get this other one out of the way too. Now the ab piece, again, you want to take that from the center chest, run it down. I don't know how well you can see this or not. Let's get a little close up here. As you can see here, I've got a note here that says hidden, and actually this area on the center chest piece, this area right here is going to be sitting under the upper chest piece, just like that. So that's going to be a hidden area. So there's a center chest piece, and the center chest piece is going to be sitting over the ab piece, roughly like this. So there you go. Now let's go back to the ab piece, and I'll show you the details on it again. Again, that's the hidden area. And as we scroll down, we get some more measurements. Now these light pencil marks that you see here, these are going to be detail lines. So just like I showed you in the straight and narrow video, cut those with the Dremel tool and a straight edge. If you can freehand it, so much the better for you. I just don't have the skills or the patience to do that. So I'm going to hold that on there for a moment, and hopefully that'll work for you. It should give you an idea of what you need to do. Okay. Now, upshot of all that is this, and this is my front chest piece. And again, I have to do some shaping on this. I have to do some bending, but up till now, I'm actually pretty happy with what I'm looking at. And again, we're starting at the upper chest piece, going down to the center chest piece, and coming down the ab. So that's what it's going to look like. And as you can see here, I do have some smoothed areas on each of these pieces, and I just did that either using that polishing bit on my Dremel, or actually I think I sanded these with a power sander using 220 grit sandpaper. And I'll come back to that and show that technique another time. But feel free to dive in, experiment on a scrap piece, see what kind of results you get. Now, again, there we go. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now, as you can see, it is attached. Let me show you the back side and what I did for that. So what I did, here we go, is I positioned the pieces in place, and then took a Sharpie and ran that Sharpie right along the joint line where I wanted it. And this is a good technique. This will help you out a lot. Then took this apart, applied some Gorilla Glue, this stuff, in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions, smeared it on there. Well, I only did one piece at a time, so I put the glue on the center piece, set the top piece on top of that, found a heavy book, just set it on top of this to give myself some clamping pressure, and let it cure. Then I repeated the process here. One thing you'll want to do though is take a scrap piece of foam and stick it under the other pieces like that. That way you've got a little bit of support for it, and you'll get a solid bond. I was thinking about using some Velcro in there to help hold the pieces together, but it looks like the Gorilla Glue is going to do a pretty good job, so I'm happy with that. Like I said, I still have to heat this up, do some shaping, get the straps on there. But at this point, I'm very, very happy. One last thing I have to do is carve out a little piece right here so I can put the N7 logo in there. And again, I'll show you that different video. So let's get this out of the way. Now, I've got some arm pieces done here that I want to show you. And let's go with the bicep piece first, and I'll hold this up. Hopefully you can see what's going on in here. Like I showed you on the previous video, cut a little slit. There it is, right there, for the flexible bit, for the stretch bit. Slid that through, anchored that in place with Gorilla Glue. There we go, that's a good shot. Gorilla Glue and some Gorilla Tape on top of that. This will give me a little bit of flexibility on this upper bicep without it coming too loose. The one thing you can do, again, it's better to make these things a little bit too large than it is to make them too small. Because if you make them too small, you have to go back, start over again. If you make them a little too big, you can add some extra tape. You could put a little extra foam in there. Something else just to snug up against your arm. But I gotta wait and see how snug they're gonna be when I get the tights that I'm gonna wear for the upper body. Now here's the bracer piece right here. I'll show you what's going on. Not much. Gorilla Glue right there. A little bit of squeeze out on the glue, but that's not a big deal. Like I said, that will pick off very, very cleanly with your thumbnail, just like that. Okay. And of course it's bent through there. And what I did down here was I used that same slide it through technique for these little bits of Velcro. And when I actually go to put this on, the Velcro is going to just fold over itself, tuck into place, and that will hold it against my wrists. Now there are pieces that are supposed to go on the top side right here, and I will come back and show you how that's done at a later time. The arm pieces, however, have one other bit that goes with them, and that is going to be something that's connecting them right here, and it's going to be this. That's what these are going to look like, these little coffin-shaped doohickeys. So what I'm going to do, I cut out 4 of these, and this is what they look like right here. And as you see, I just held them together with a Gorilla Glue. And what I'm going to do is later on, I'm going to take them outside. I'm going to load up my sander, and I'm just going to sand these into shape until the edges are smooth. The tricky part, of course, is going to be getting the angles on the top, because this has to be sloped down. This has to be sloped down. Well, and again, we'll see how that works out. I'll show you another video on that later. Last thing I want to show you is a painting option. And see, here's the paint I have, and that's Rust-Oleum protective enamel. This is gloss black, and this is what it looks like. Now let's see if I can get a better shot of it here. There you go. I just painted that on with a brush. Looks very, very good. This is the non-texture side of the armor. I needed 2 coats to get that result, so it doesn't look quite as good, but I don't think it's going to look bad. It probably would have helped if I figured out some way to seal that, and I'll come back and let you know how those experiments work out. But that's how that looks, and you can get this stuff in the little cans for about $4 at a hardware store. Again, it's enamel, so it's a very, very, very tough coating, and you can see what I'm doing to it here, and it is not scraping off. So this will help protect the armor that you're wearing. If anything, if it does scrape off a little bit, it'll show the gray armor underneath it, so you'll end up having that cool battle damage effect. But anyway, this stuff comes in the little 1 pint cans, and if you decide that you want a different color than, say, black, you can get 1 quart cans for, well, just about any of the primary colors. So you can have just literally any color of armor that you want. Now I'm going to use this for, probably going to go with the gloss black, but they have flat black as well. I might take a look at that, see how that looks like. Small enough a can that it's not a big deal. The only other thing is, at this point, getting back to work on some of these things. I'm working on the shoulders now. I'll let you know how those work out in a later video. If you have any questions, comments, anything at all, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And I guess that's it. So if you're watching, if you're out there watching, thanks a lot. Let me know what you think of what I'm doing. Bye.